Welcome back to I Don't Have Time to Read. Are you ready for a deep dive into a psychological thriller that will leave you seriously creeped out?
Ooh, bring on the chills. I'm ready.
Awesome. Today we're diving headfirst into Verity by Colleen Hoover.
I love Colleen Hoover.
She really knows how to write a page-turner, and this one is no exception.
What's the setup for this one?
So, picture this. A struggling writer in Manhattan, drowning in debt, dealing with the recent loss of her mother.
Sounds rough.
It is. Oh, and she's got a major case of writer's block, too. Meet Lowen Ashleigh, our protagonist, who's living this nightmare.
Lowen. Okay, got it. So what happens to shake things up?
Well, as if things weren't bad enough, she witnesses a tragic hit-and-run accident on her way to a meeting with her literary agent.
Yikes.
It's a brutal scene, and while Lowen is completely shaken, everyone else around her just seems indifferent. Like it's just another day in the city.
Yeah, it's like the city itself has become desensitized to tragedy.
Exactly. And amidst this chaos, Lowen meets Verity Crawford, the only person who actually shows her some compassion after this horrific event.
Verity Crawford. Where have I heard that name before?
Well, get this. Jeremy is the husband of Verity Crawford.
Hold on, Verity Crawford, the famous author.
The one and only. And here comes the twist. Verity is severely injured and unable to continue writing her insanely popular book series.
Wow, what are the chances?
Right. And guess who they want to step in and finish the series?
Let me guess. Lowen.
You got it. It's like fate intervened or something.
Talk about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It gets even crazier. The Crawfords offer Lowen a ridiculous amount of money to take on this project. Like life-changing money.
Okay, now it's getting really interesting.
It's the kind of offer you just can't refuse, right? But of course, there's a catch. Lowen has to move into the Crawfords' secluded home in Vermont to work on the books.
Secluded home in Vermont? That sounds a little ominous.
Oh, it totally is. The house itself is creepy, like straight out of a horror movie. It's isolated, imposing, and you can just feel the secrets lurking within its walls.
Okay, now I'm getting goosebumps.
And to make matters even creepier, there's Crew, Verity, and Jeremy's young son.
Kids in creepy houses. That's never a good sign.
Nope, not at all. Crew's behavior is, well, let's just say unsettling.
So we've got a struggling writer, a creepy house, a mysterious family, and a huge sum of money at stake. Sounds like we're in for a wild ride.
Oh, you have no idea. And it gets even more twisted. While Lowen's trying to piece together Verity's notes for the next book, she has these strange encounters with Verity herself.
Wait a minute, I thought you said Verity was incapacitated.
That's what everyone thinks. But these encounters make Lowen question everything she thought she knew about Verity's condition.
Ooh, this is getting good. Is Verity more aware than she's letting on? Is she faking it?
Well, things take a dark turn when Lowen stumbles upon a hidden manuscript. Verity's autobiography.
Ooh, an autobiography. That's gotta be juicy.
It's more than juicy. It's downright disturbing. Verity's writing is raw, unfiltered, and full of her darkest secrets.
Okay, I'm hooked. What kind of secrets?
We're talking about a troubled past, a toxic relationship with Jeremy, and thoughts about her children that would make any parent shiver.
Oh, wow. So this manuscript is like a bomb waiting to explode.
It totally is. It challenges everything we thought we knew about Verity, and it raises serious questions about Jeremy. Is he being truthful about his wife, or is there something he's hiding too?
Right. It's like we're suddenly dealing with two Verities, the public persona and the one revealed in the autobiography.
Exactly. And we're left wondering, who's telling the truth? Are we supposed to believe Jeremy's version of events, or is Verity's manuscript the real deal?
I love how Colleen Hoover does that. She makes you question everything and everyone.
It's brilliant. It's like she's playing with our minds, making us question the reliability of memory and the very nature of truth.
And she's a master at building suspense, too. So, what happens next?
Buckle up, because things are about to get even more intense. Lowen finds Crew playing with a knife in Verity's room.
Oh, no. That's terrifying.
Right. It's a chilling moment that sends a shiver down your spine. And then, to make matters worse, the knife disappears.
Vanishes into thin air. Okay, now I'm officially freaked out.
It's like the house itself is closing in on her, becoming a character in this twisted tale. The creepy atmosphere, the strange encounters with Verity, Crew's unsettling behavior, it all adds up to a feeling of impending doom.
And I bet the tension between Lowen and Jeremy isn't helping matters.
You're right on the money. They're both grieving, both carrying their own burdens, and they find themselves drawn to each other. Late-night conversations, shared vulnerabilities, You can feel the attraction building.
It's understandable, I guess. They're both in this intense, isolated environment, trying to cope with some heavy stuff.
Yeah, but is it genuine? Or is it just a product of their circumstances? And let's not forget the elephant in the room. Lowen is reading Verity's private manuscript. She knows she shouldn't be privy to these intimate details, but she can't help but be sucked into the story.
It's like a moral dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Curiosity versus respect for privacy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Lowen's need for answers overrides her guilt. She keeps reading despite the growing sense of unease and the strange events happening around her. And then one night, she sleepwalks into Verity's room.
Sleepwalking. Oh, that's not good.
It's a pivotal moment. Like, the lines between reality and the world of Verity's manuscript are starting to blur for Lowen.
It's like she's being drawn deeper into Verity's web.
And then comes the climax of the manuscript. Verity confesses to intentionally causing the death of her daughter Harper to save her son Crew.
What? No way.
I know, it's a brutal revelation that changes everything.
Is she a cold-blooded killer, or is this just another twist in her twisted narrative?
We're left wondering if anything in the manuscript is true. But one thing's for sure. Lowen is terrified of Verity now.
As she should be. If even half of what's in that manuscript is true, Verity is dangerous.
And that brings us to the final confrontation. Lowen, in a moment of panic and fear, reveals the contents of the manuscript to Jeremy.
Oh boy, that's got to be bad news.
It is. What follows is a chaotic and intense scene fueled by shock, disbelief, and betrayal. Jeremy confronts Verity in a fit of rage, and things spiral out of control.
So what happens? Does he believe Lowen? What does Verity say?
In a shocking turn of events, Jeremy suffocates Verity, making it look like an accident.
Whoa! Okay, this just went from 0 to 100 real quick.
It's a tragic end to a relationship poisoned by lies, secrets, and manipulation. But even with Verity gone, there's this lingering sense of unease. Like, the story isn't over yet.
I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface of this twisted tale. Colleen Hoover always has a few more tricks up her sleeve.
Okay, so we're still reeling from that shocking ending. I mean, Jeremy killing Verity, it's intense.
It's a huge turning point in the story, that's for sure. But, like, where does the story even go from there?
Right. Well, the story jumps ahead, and we find Lowen and Jeremy trying to build a new life together. They've left the creepy Crawford house behind, and Lowen is pregnant with Jeremy's child.
Wow, so they're really trying to move on, huh? But can they truly escape the past after everything that's happened?
That's the big question, isn't it? On the surface, it seems like they're trying to find some semblance of normalcy. But the shadow of Verity's death and all the unanswered questions still hangs over them.
It's like they're trying to outrun their past, but some secrets just refuse to stay buried.
Exactly. And in true Colleen Hoover fashion, she throws in another twist that completely blew my mind. It all comes down to the epilogue.
The epilogue. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I had to read it, like, twice just to make sure I understood what was happening.
Right. So, Lowen discovers a letter hidden in Crew's belongings. A letter from Verity, addressed to Jeremy. And let me tell you, this letter changes everything.
Ooh, a hidden letter. That's never good. What did it say?
Get this. Verity claims she made up the entire autobiography. Like it was all a lie.
Wait, what? She fabricated the whole thing, the abuse, the dark thoughts, her daughter's death, all of it.
According to the letter, yeah. She says it was a writing exercise. She was trying to explore her dark side and create a more compelling narrative.
Hold on, so are we supposed to believe that she's not a manipulative, potentially murderous person?
That's the million-dollar question. The letter throws everything we thought we knew into doubt. Was she a victim of her own imagination? Or was this some elaborate scheme to manipulate everyone around her?
I mean, if the autobiography was all a lie, then Jeremy killed an innocent woman.
It's a chilling thought, right? Did he believe the manuscript and act in a moment of rage? Or was he a willing participant in some twisted plan orchestrated by Verity? We're left wondering if he was a pawn in her game all along.
Okay, so we have to consider both possibilities. Verity was either a master manipulator who orchestrated her own death, or Jeremy was completely deceived and committed a horrific act based on a lie. There's no in-between, is there?
It's insane. And poor Lowen. Right. Is she safe with Jeremy? Or is she living with a man capable of anything? The whole situation is just so messed up.
And then there's that final line from Verity's letter, which really sends chills down your spine. Remember, if you think I'm a monster for what I did in that manuscript, you should see what I've done to you.
I get goosebumps every time I think about it. It's like Verity is suggesting that even in death, she still has power over them. Like she's orchestrated some final devastating revenge.
That one line throws the entire story into a whole new level of creepy. It makes you wonder if there's even more to the story that we don't know.
Right. Like, what did she do to them? Is there some hidden consequence waiting to unfold? Colleen Hoover leaves us with this unsettling feeling that the story isn't truly over.
It's brilliant, really. Verity isn't just a thriller, it's a psychological mind game. It messes with your head and leaves you questioning everything.
Totally. So with all that in mind, let's dive into some of the key themes that make this book so captivating. First up, the unreliable narrator. Colleen Hoover uses this technique masterfully to keep us guessing.
Oh, absolutely. It's like she's giving us a puzzle with missing pieces. We're constantly trying to figure out who's telling the truth and who's manipulating the narrative.
Right. We have Lowen, who seems reliable at first but admits to having doubts. Then we have Verity, whose autobiography is either a confession or fabrication, depending on how you interpret that letter.
Yeah.
And then there's Jeremy, whose version of events directly contradicts Verity's. It's a constant game of trying to decipher the truth from these fragmented perspectives.
And then there's the theme of the dark side of human nature. Verity doesn't hold back from exploring the depths of human depravity. It dives into jealousy, obsession, and the lengths people will go to for their own self-preservation or to protect the ones they love.
Yeah, the book really makes you question what you're capable of, especially when it comes to love and family. Verity's actions, whether real or imagined, are a chilling example of this. Her thoughts about her children, the way she treated Jeremy. It's also disturbing.
It forces you to confront the uncomfortable reality that everyone has a dark side. Some people are just better at hiding it than others.
So true. And then, of course, there's the theme of love and deception. Verity is full of tangled relationships, hidden motives, and betrayals. It makes you question the nature of love and whether it can be genuine in the face of so much manipulation.
Right. Like, was there ever any real love between Verity and Jeremy? Or was it always a power struggle? And what about Lowen and Jeremy's relationship? Was it born out of genuine connection or simply a shared need to escape their respective traumas?
I think that's one of the most unsettling aspects of the book. The idea that love can be so easily twisted and used as a weapon to control and deceive. It makes you question your own relationships and wonder if you're truly seeing people for who they are.
It's a cautionary tale for sure. Verity reminds us that we can't always trust what we see or what people tell us. Sometimes the most beautiful facades hide the darkest truths.
Exactly. And that's what makes this book so thought-provoking. It doesn't offer any easy answers. It leaves us with more questions than resolutions, forcing us to grapple with the complexities of human nature and the gray areas of morality.
And I think that's what makes it such a great book club pick. Everyone has their own interpretation, and the discussions are always so interesting.
So, as we head into the final part of our deep dive, let's keep those lingering questions in mind. Was Verity a victim or a villain? Was Jeremy a loving husband driven to a desperate act? Or was he a willing accomplice in a twisted game? And can Lowen ever truly escape the shadows of the Crawford house and build a future free from Verity's influence? All right, so we've dissected the plot, analyzed the characters, and uncovered some seriously messed up secrets. But that final twist with Verity's letter, it just blows everything wide open.
Totally. I mean, does that letter make Verity a sympathetic figure, or is it just another layer of manipulation? It's like Colleen Hoover wants us to debate this forever.
Right. Was the manuscript a twisted writing exercise or a confession disguised as fiction? And if it was all a lie, what does that say about Jeremy? Did he really kill an innocent woman?
Ugh, I can't even imagine being in Lowen's shoes. Finding out the man you love might be capable of something so horrific.
And then there's that bone-chilling line from Verity's letter. If you think I'm a monster for what I did in that manuscript, you should see what I've done to you. Like, what does that even mean?
Right. It's like she's reaching out from beyond the grave, leaving this ominous threat hanging in the air.
It suggests that there might be consequences, some kind of hidden revenge plot we haven't seen yet. Verity's presence is still so strong, even in death.
It definitely adds a whole other level of creepiness to the story. It's like she's still pulling the strings somehow.
Verity isn't just a thriller. It's a psychological exploration of the darkest parts of human nature. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about the people around you.
Totally. Like, can we ever really know what's going on inside someone else's head, even those closest to us?
It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of blindly trusting narratives. We have to be critical thinkers, question what we're told, especially when it comes from someone with a hidden agenda.
It reminds us that we can't just accept things at face value. We have to dig deeper, look for inconsistencies, and consider different perspectives.
So after all this, we're still left with more questions than answers. Was Verity a master manipulator or a victim? Was Jeremy a loving husband driven to a desperate act, or a willing participant in a sinister game?
And what about Lowen? Can she ever truly escape the shadow of Verity and build a future free from this chilling legacy?
Those are the questions that linger long after you finish the book. And that's what makes Verity such a powerful read. It doesn't offer easy answers. It leaves you thinking, debating, and questioning.
It's the kind of book that sparks conversations and makes you look at the world a little differently. It reminds us that truth can be subjective, and sometimes the most beautiful facades hide the darkest secrets.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure. But I think that's why we love Colleen Hoover's books, right?
Sure.
They're unpredictable, thought-provoking, and always leave us wanting more.
Absolutely. She knows how to keep us on the edge of our seats and leave us with a sense of unease that lingers long after we finished the book.
Well, that's all the time we have for our deep dive into Verity today. We've analyzed the plot, dissected the characters, and explored the themes that make this book so unforgettable.
But we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Who do you believe? What was Verity's endgame? And do you think Lowen and Jeremy can ever truly find peace? Share your theories and interpretations in the comments below.
We love reading your thoughts and getting your perspectives on these twisted tales. And as always, keep those pages turning. Until next time.